Alright, hello everyone, welcome to my very first long video of my channel where I start to document my financial journey and what I've learned from it. Quick introductions. My name is Min and I'm 23 years old. I currently work at a 9 to 5 jobs in Austin, Texas. I'm married, I have one kid, 4 cats right now. A little bit background about myself. So 2024 and 2025 was a crazy year for me. I was graduated with my bachelor degrees. I was 5 months pregnant by then. I just landed my very first 9 to 5 job, which is also my current job. My husband and I also decided to mortgage our house since we don't want to move from apartment to apartment with our babies. Luckily, my husband is a veteran, and so we take advantage of the $0 down payment program for our first home. And the mortgage is around 289,000 with the 5.875% interest. We also finance our car in 2023, and as of October of 2025, we have 5,500 left on the loan. So I currently came across Gabby Peterson YouTube channel, and she's inspired me a lot on her budgeting and financial journey. She's also the reason why I decided to sit down and recorded this video. I want to share with you with the word about my financial goal, about my budget, so we can keep each other accountability on this financial journey. So back in June of 2024, I started my job with a 55,000 a year salary. Even though it's not super high or super impressive, I feel very grateful because that was the reason why me and my husband decided to mortgage our house. I was also very thankful because back then I was 6 months pregnant, and this is a state agency. So since I used to work a part-time for my university before, they let me have a 2 whole month paid maternity leave since I was considered a state employee for more than a year. And at the same time, my husband decided that he wanted to go back to school starting the falls of 2024 as well for his bachelor degree in accounting. Since he was a veteran, all of his tuition is covered and he got some extra money for living expense as well. So we both agreed that since my job allowed me to work from home 2 days a week, so we gonna work around our schedule to ensure that either of us gonna stay at home with a baby, so we don't need to send him to daycare, which is crazy expensive. And again, we always feel so grateful for everything because although our baby came as an unplanned surprise gift, we still managed and very blessed to figure out the whole situation. So that's a little bit about my background. Fasting forward, my baby just hit his 1 year mark last month, and our situation is a lot more stable now with me at work and my husband at school. However, our financial situation is not as great. Last month, September of 2025, we would almost use up all of our emergency fund, and the financial was tough for both of us. And sit down with my husband and talk with him that we cannot just spend our money without purpose like that anymore. I want to, have some kind of budget, a plan, so that we, control how much money we take in our account monthly, how much we spend, which is the area that we spend the most, which is not. So, that's why I decided to start a channel, and this video is my very first one for the financial journey diaries. Let's see. And also we want to build back up our emergency fund. We also want to start invest more for our future, for our retirement plans, for the baby university funds, and we also want to save up for another car since right now we share the same car. And so as most of young adults, I go to YouTube and search for some personal financial advice, and it's a miracle I came across Gabby Peterson YouTube, and I watched literally all of her budgeting and monthly reset video, and it's motivated me to do the same thing. And I believe that if she can do it, so do I. So every of you are. So since I'm the one who mainly take care of the bills, of our family, I roughly know how much we should spend for the bills and how much we have left for like the grocery, eating out, some kind of saving up, or what we should putting in fun spending. So let's take a look at how I set up our budget for October and how's the budgeting going so far. So as I mentioned about Gabby a lot, I also using her budget setup, and I bought it from her Etsy. And I know it might be very complicated for a first-time user because they have all kind of budget setup, a net worth, but it have a lot of things that I myself, I'm still a learning curve right now, but I just don't want to wait until I master everything before I started doing it. I just want to like, practice make perfect. I just want to jump right in and, let myself try a little bit since these are the last 3 months of 2025. So I can kind of experience a little bit in these 3 months to see how the budget work before I can set up everything for 2026. So as you can see here, I call my budget the family budget, and we focus on the saving columns, the income, the expenses, the bills, and the debts. So currently I want to save for emergency fund, and of course we're gonna have some, which is my priority right now. Monthly we have 2 paychecks that come into our house, one from me and one from my husband. And then for the expenses, we have mostly gonna be one for grocery, one for the fun, and then one for the eating out. And then for the bills, we have electricity bills. The unit gas is our cooking gas bill, sewer bills, water bills, phone bill, car insurance, internet, Netflix, and the car gas, which is very basic things. And then the debt, as I mentioned, is that currently we have a mortgage and a car payment. And then down here, we're gonna start to set up a little bit. So for the emergency fund, our starting balance is $632.51. And as I mentioned earlier, like in September, we almost spent all of our emergency funds. But right now, we try to putting $350 toward the emergency funds, and we go for $8,000, which is around 2 months of emergency fund. And then for the expenses budget, we target for the grocery, we target to spend around $700 for the month, and then we target to spend $400 for the fund, which normally it's gonna be $200 from myself and then $200 from my husband to spend on our own, and then we target to spend about $200 for the eating out. And then for the income right now, so for the income, we have 2 paychecks, one from myself and one from my husband. So on a monthly basis, I bring in $3,493.24 monthly, and my husband bring in $2,397 monthly. So we got paid once a month, which I think is a little bit hard to control because since you only get the money once every month, you're gonna have the feeling of you have a lot of money and you're very easy to overspend at the beginning of the month, and then toward the end of the month you just kind of run out all of the money. That's why we need to be very careful with our money. So our mortgage is starting at 9.000, and our monthly payment right now is $2,219.75. With the end interest is 5.897%. And then our car payment, we have $6,587.76 left, and we put $1,000 toward it because we want to pay it off as soon as possible so we can save up for the next card. And then we basically don't use credit card. It's a shared credit card. We're gonna, like me myself, I have my own credit card, but I just use it for some personal lunch or some skincare stuff that I bought, but since this is our family budgeting, I don't really put it in here. And then the last thing, which is the most expensive thing, is bills and subscription setup. So over here, since it is summer right now, the electricity is very high. It's normally end up at $160 monthly. Our gas for the cooking is around 100 a month. Our sewer is at 100. Our water is also around 100 a month. Our phone bills is at $80. The car insurance is at 175 monthly. The internet is 80. The Netflix is 20, and the car gas is around 100 as well. And then of course, when I set up my budget, I always round up for all of the bill and expenses to make sure that we're not gonna be underestimate our spending. So that's all I set up for myself. As I mentioned earlier, I'm still in a very learning curve for the whole situations, and I'll definitely spend more time on exploring this tool. But now we're gonna jump straight to the October, which is this month. So our monthly income is still at $5,890.24 per month. I at the beginning of the month I already put $350 toward the saving for the emergency fund, and so far, so this is where I put in all of our expenses and bills that I'm tracking. So at the beginning of the month we did go to eat out at IHOP, which is in total got around $46, and then we're gonna put a saving in the emergency funds, and then we paid off our mortgage and our car payment, which normally put into an auto payment, and then our income getting in, and then the expenses, which is $200 for each of us, and then the bill. So I basically going through my bank account every day to record any money that is going in and going out, so that I make sure that I am on top of all of the bills and expenses. So far, let's see. Okay, so far this is all I got is of October 8th of 2025. But I will definitely gonna keep track of my spendings, and then I will keep you updated. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.